So, I was working late on some script. I guess I just didn't see him. It wasn't till next spring that I discovered the body. Oh, no. Come on, your gas can't be that bad. But it was. So I rounded up the usual suspects. sta-bil, Seafoam, star-tron, STP, and just for something that doesn't start with the letter S, K100. And just because they won our chain cleaner test, iPhone. These fuel stabilizers are supposed to leave my gasoline fresh after a long winter's nap. A few will prove to do that, most will prove to do nothing, and others yet cause willful harm. To find out who's who, we're gonna have to ask a few questions. What is this? Gasoline? Just gasoline? Look again. We ran the EPA registry for every additive they can legally put in your gas like a dog park after the snow melt. There's a lot of shit. All of which evaporates at different rates. The thinner compounds tend to go first, leaving the heavier additives to gunk up your fuel system. That is why fuel stabilizers are anti-evaporative. Each of these samples contains E10 gasoline treated with the requisite amount of stabilizer, and each weighs exactly 700 grams. But after precisely 2 hours and 13 minutes, our control has lost 28.5 grams to evaporation, and every single fuel stabilizer performs worse. Not by much, but still. If evaporation distilled crud clogged my injectors, then any of them could be the murder weapon. Peut-être. But Poirot sees another possibility, because modern gasoline is usually partially ethanol, a corn-derived alcohol that boosts octane numbers, employs domestic farmers, and keeps our collective hand out of Saudi Arabia's pants. However, ethyl alcohol happens to be hygroscopic, meaning it likes to absorb moisture from the air. E10, which is 10% ethanol, will absorb 500 parts per million of H2O before the water becomes too heavy to hold and it all sinks to the bottom. I needn't name what a layer of water inside your tank all winter will do. And that is why fuel stabilizers are hydrophobic, to prevent gas under the influence of ethyl alcohol from picking up the H2Os. If the mingling in your tank is a Halloween dance, these are the chaperones. Again, we have identical samples of E10 treated with the requisite stabilizer. Each is exposed to humidity for 30 minutes. The control took on 42 milliliters of water-ethanol mix. And again, iPhone and STP do nothing. Seafoam is a marginal improvement, only sta-bil appreciably limits H2O absorption to 37 milliliters. And star-tron and K100 actually draw more moisture. So if allowing water absorption to rust my tank was the means to murder, perhaps there are two prime suspects. No. That tank is plastic. And besides, there are deadlier forces at play. Come spring, this phase-separated layer will be the first thing drawn into your carb or fuel injector, and it's composed of water-impregnated ethanol. That alone will not be flammable enough to start the engine. This is why stabilizers contain water-soluble fuels like methanol. If they can blend with the phase-separated layer, they can help it burn. I sample a few milliliters from each bottom layer, then saturate paper strips. The control takes 22 seconds to burn. Seafoam, star-tron, and STP all improve flammability at 17 seconds, as does sta-bil at 16 and the octane-boosting K100 at 15 seconds. Only iPone fails the ignition test, prematurely puffing out. Maybe that's why, even with a bit of remixing, the bike never came back to life. Now, H2O absorption raises another line of inquiry, because winter storage is cold and water can freeze, ice being a no-start situation at best and a cracked open fuel system at worst. That is why fuel stabilizers have anti-freeze properties, and that is why each of our phase-separated samples is going into the Canada box. iPone and K100 freeze solid. The rest, including our no additive control, stay liquid. So with the cold as an accomplice, either iPone or K100 could be guilty of killing my bike. Only there's one last possibility. Of ethanol's many faults, oxygenation is the worst. In the short term, we want this oxidizer in our fuel because oxygenated gasoline burns more completely, leaving fewer carbon monoxide emissions so Leo can keep using his yacht. But in the storage term, a gas that oxidizes quickly goes bad quickly. Which is why fuel stabilizers have antioxidants in them, to prevent redox reactions from eating your bike.
Good evening. It's intermission time, and during the next 10 minutes, we invite you to visit our refreshment stand.
Only K100 keeps the tiny vampires at bay. iPone and sta-bil are passable, STP does negligibly better than the control, while star-tron and especially Seafoam are a bloody mess. It's this oxidation of precise fuel passageways and of the fuel itself that is the main reason stored bikes turn up dead. Et voila, our likeliest murder weapon. I take two things from this investigation. First, the accomplice to every storage crime is ethanol. So if you can fill your tank with ethanol-free gas this fall, do that. Don't worry about the rest. Second, if you can't get ethanol-free gas, know that fuel stabilizers don't generally help. I mean, think about it. If there were some magic potion that made ethanol gas good, it'd be included in the million additives already in your fuel. The only exceptional benefit is oxidation protection. Of the usual suspects, only K100 does it perfectly. Though this freezes fast, so not the best choice for cold storage, sta-bil is also tempting. Decent antioxidant, and the only additive to appreciably limit water ingress in the first place. The rest are useless bystanders at best and harmful accessories to the murder of my bike at worst. The only question remaining is, who administered the fatal dose? Who is the author of this murderous plot? I asked the question, but the writing of it is already an answer, as I work late on some script.